Well, listen, that was really generous of you to bring us that stateside thought and view. John, maybe we can get you to do it again another time at your convenience.
Certainly.
Good man.
Cheers, John.
Cheers.
He's tops, isn't he?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Very good.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
And then what do we think, guys? Because you know what I think whenever I come across a new philosophy, and I suppose this is a new philosophy, or at least a new view of what it might be to be a human being. You know, for you to be you, Matt, and you to be you, Stuart, and me to be me, Tom, and people, you know, at their PCs, what it is for you to be you. Okay, you get this new set of ideas. So there's this guy Bostrom, he says, well, you're just in a computer simulation, okay? But then what do you do tomorrow? Differently. Supposing you buy that idea.
Yeah.
Supposing you go, yeah, I've thought that for a long time, and his numbers add up. Then do you still get up tomorrow and go to work? Or do you...
Good point. Yep. Do you know there's a new thing that Google are going to start to do, apparently, where Google are going to incorporate something in their search engine where actually you can ask it a question, what shall I do tomorrow? Yeah. And it will pop up results based on your profile that it's learnt about you over the many years of you searching to suggest things for you to do tomorrow.
So I don't want to get heavy. I don't want to get heavy about this, but from time to time, and I've got teenage sons who kind of hint this question at me, being their dad, I should have some idea how to answer this question. You know, they like me, and I bet like you two guys too, and everybody else. From time to time I think to myself, what am I supposed to be doing here?
Yeah.
Like, you know, I mean, if I'm a healthy guy, and I'm probably not, but if I were, I'd get about 80 years, 90 years maybe, which is either a very long time if you're sentenced to 80 years in prison, you go, that's a long time. but then a lot of 80-year-olds will look at you and they'll go, it just flew by. But what do you do? What are you supposed to do?
Yeah.
What are you supposed to do? Nobody tells you that.
No, that's it.
Your own thing.
You don't know. So you go through school, you get as many exams as you can, assuming that that's going to give you some idea of what to do. And if you're lucky and you get a couple of A's, you don't choose it. You're sent to university because it's kind of, well, it's what to do next. And I think most of them end up at university going, what? Maybe at the end of 3 years here I'll find out what I'm supposed to do. But I don't think anybody ever tells you. You get a sneaking feeling from time to time of what it is you're supposed to do, but you don't get, you know, any clear writing on the wall.
Ian says if it was a simulation, he'd be buying a porno mag and sat at home simulating himself.
Well, I went to years ago to one of those IT fairs where they were showing off the very latest, and I got to put on one of those hats with a screen inside it. And you put on gloves.
Virtual reality things, yeah.
And it was really poor because it was so slow in catching up with what you were doing that every time I tried to walk to the door in the room, I'd walk into the wall. It was exactly like being very pissed.
That'll be me last night.
But I said to the guy, well, where's this going to go then? Obviously you're going to have some great adventure games, aren't you? And he said, oh no, he said, this is going to go towards the, how can I put it, the blue industry. So what do you mean? He said, well, what we're going to be able to offer, guys, is this, right? You buy this rubber suit, and you zip yourself into it. And the interior of this suit contains hundreds of thousands of small points, which can either deliver pressure or heat, okay? And then you put the hat on, okay? And then you select an evening in with Michelle Pfeiffer. You see? And you get the works.
Do you think Michelle Pfeiffer would authorise that?
Probably. She's at the fag end of her career, isn't she? She can't play babes anymore, really. She's into character parts. But a fine woman. Okay, what about the chat rooms? Any further reaction to that? John Wright, I think, did a great job there, and we're interested. Can I, just before I throw back to you, Stuart, there on that? We are interested on PlayRadio, on people doing bits of kind of radio, which is what John did there, which of course he was in a good position to do because he's a top-notch broadcaster.
Yep.
But anybody can. Oh, and somebody phoned the Human Zoo on 01243 55 60 60. I'll say that again in just a second. But we couldn't let that call go to the air because John was in the middle of his segment. So call again, 01243 55 60 60. The chat rooms.
Text messages, 82820.
Oh, yeah.
Start with PlayRadio.
Yeah. Email studio@playradiouk.com and Skype, it's play.radio.uk. Bunch of things going on, actually. Jay says, what happens if Google turns around and says, even I'm sick of you?
Oh dear.
Let me see what else. Happy Tree says, and this is very intellectual, and it says, if you think about it, in the same way that the universe could simulate us, we could in turn create our own simulations of life. Here we have a reproduction of just talking to each other. And why do we simulate this? So we can understand ourselves a bit better. So the universe is just exploring its own existence by creating little versions of itself so it can observe and learn from us.
Happy Tree,
Yeah,
if it's the same Happy Tree,
it will be the one that's the same.
contributed to one of the unofficial Talk Sport forums during the week, quite simply, and I really don't mean to sound patronising here, quite simply, the very best posting I've ever seen on any blog.
It was good. I read it.
I had to read it twice.
What did he say?
It was an explanation of why, it was an examination of why, when people say the C word or the F word, when they use those phrases for it, you know, teachers will say, I will not have the F word used in the playground under any circumstances. Well, excuse me, but they've said fuck. All they've done is pretend they haven't.
Yeah.
But when you say the F word, when you use that phrase, do not use the F word in here. The word that explodes in the mind of everybody who hears it is F-U-C-K, fuck. Okay? So they've used it. So we were on about this piece of weasel behaviour by people who won't say fuck but will say the F word. And Happy Tree came back, it analysed it much better than we were doing, but also went on to talk about why certain things are funny because it's kind of, well, you'd have to read the piece. Somebody on their PC, could you find it and remind me how we can get to it, because it was brilliant. Happy Tree explained why the following joke, I'm trying to remember here, why the following joke is so powerful. There's a comedian who does cleaned up versions of great rude jokes. Like, two nuns are bicycling along and one says to the other, I haven't come this way before. Okay? But then the punchline that is used by this comedian that Happy Tree was quoting is, no, that's because they've had to put in a diversion with these temporary traffic lights. Okay? And you see, and you laugh. Because, I don't know, Happy Tree explains. I don't know who Happy Tree is. Round the kitchen table, some of us were dialoguing as to whether Happy Tree, so I'm wireless now, you see, so
Is that like the Happy Tree Friends?
I don't know. Aren't wireless laptops real ball and chain? Because you don't go anywhere in the house without your laptop.
It's terrible, isn't it? Yeah.
You wake up at 5 in the morning and you're on the landing and you're faffing with you're pecking away into your
We are
wireless.
becoming a wireless country, aren't we? A wireless universe.
It's brilliant. But then, if part of what we're doing now is being consumed by somebody using a wireless laptop, then technically we are some sort of radio.
Yeah.
But is microwave, because apparently these signals are travelling a lot as microwave signals, aren't they? Is that considered wireless? It's technically, literally, wireless.
But it's not really, not in the...
The microwave is a carrier signal, I think. And that carries the other signal on top of it.
It's wireless, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Are you enjoying your beer?
I am, yes. It's
Good.
Very, very
Good.
sumptuous.
It looks good. You're looking good there. You're looking good. Sat there. I'll just...
Shall I show the phone?
No,
There we go, yeah. There we go.
Wholesome Pills.
That's what a Sunday...
It's a Wholesome Pills production.
It isn't, though, is it? Is that all right? Am I sorted?
Yeah,
there?
no,
Other
Alright,
good lagers are available.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, that's bollocks, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, yeah.
I'm just looking on
Who
this
cares?
TalkSport forum. It's great when something just catches your eyes. You're flicking through pages.
What you got?
Well, I don't know. Just the first line says, "Just listen to the podcast." Barkus is a C word.
No, he's a good lad. He is.
It just caught your eye. I was looking
seriously
actually for
good
the
lad.
Happy Tree post on the Talk forum thing. When I find it, I'll give you a shout.
Well, I watched a programme, I believe I told you about it a couple of weeks ago, about there's a posh comedian, I don't know his name, I can't remember his name, but he was actually going round and interviewing sort of famous, well-known sort of Cockney people and Northern people about the C word. There you are, I've just done it, you're now picturing what...
Well,
and they were saying how it's just like every other swear word is slowly but surely coming out of fashion.